The following is a transcript between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am, originally produced on January 5th, 2021, under the constellation of Capricorn, in the mental week, examining through the solar plexus. I am. For there to be a rainbow, it has to rain. Me. When I traveled solo through Scotland in 2018, it had started out as a bleak time. It was still winter and I had to go through some snowfall. I was traveling in a motorhome and the freezing security system released all of the water. So at about 11 p.m., I suddenly stopped having heat. I spent freezing nights and the days were not much better. Fog, rain, snow. Spring was soon to arrive, and the icy days would be over. But hey, Scotland is Scotland. Fog and rain are something of any season of the year. It is not the most joyous and jovial landscape on earth, but a meditative landscape of melancholy. The treeless hills, the small forest in the valleys, the gray streams camouflaging with ochre and cyan grasslands, as if the mountains imitated the redheads typical of these lands, or mahogany. A friend used to hate being called red. The stone houses, some clad in white, revealing their smoke chimneys camouflaged among the dark gray rocks that bordered on a silver sea of steel. The sky is not far behind, covered with gray tones from the most subtle to the most dense. They draw shapes dancing between the mountains, or simply cover the earth like a cloak, a sheet, like someone who wants to continue sleeping and refuses to see that the daylight has already begun. Perhaps this climate is precisely what makes this land so magical. And then, in every corner, comes the Scottish signature, the rain. But not the tropical rain, or the winter or summer rain. I'm talking about the drizzle. The fine drizzle that almost seems part of the air that we breathe, like heavier humidity that descends from the heavens just 5 minutes and then stops for 15 and comes back intermittently. Sometimes it can stay for days, and sometimes you can see it in the distance on some hill while you see the miracle, the sun. The rain, the drizzle, the sun are intermittent. Sunlight reaches Earth by waves of different frequencies, which first find a shield in the electromagnetic field and then in the atmosphere, where it begins to reflect in the molecules of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and argon. This dissipates the photons, causing us to see white or bluish colors that reach the surface in this way, passing through the clouds. These are composed of water vapor, tiny particles of liquid that is so fine that they float among the molecules of air. Sometimes we don't realize it, but the air is like an invisible liquid, comparable to the sea for the fish and the cetaceans. The air also has a surface which looks like a wave with the tides that we call high and low pressure. And those waves can be seen in the flow of the clouds, especially when the sky is overcast, and you can see that feeling of the waves in the bellies of the clouds. When enough vapor has accumulated, the liquid particles begin to unite, occupying that space, and generating weight and making the vapor lighter than the gas in the air. It begins to precipitate into a vacuum. This is how the drops are formed, and the set of the drops give rise to the rain. The condensation of gas and water vapor in liquid causes the mineral to be ordered in the form of spheres that fall at high speed, resembling rods or arrows ready to stick into the ground. But due to their quantity, they all look like mirrors, and like molecules in the atmosphere, they reflect light from the heavens, making them shine, giving them the impression that the droplets are light blue or white. This is because the light is coming from above and in all directions, so the frequency ranges of light are erratically unified, making all the colors together look like heavenly white. But when the sun is close to this horizon, the light does not come from above, but from the sides, causing the rays to reflect these ranges of frequency into a light arc through the drops, finally revealing all of the ranges of colors which we normally see in white. It is a magical moment since it can only occur at an angle of 138 degrees. The light reflecting to this degree in the liquid crystals of the rainwater allows to reflect the light in all of its possible waves visible by the human eye, which gives us the rainbow, 12 colors, 7 main ones, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, plus 5 secondary ones, ruby, magenta, gold, cyan, and turquoise, which can vary according to their intermediate perception, due to the climate and geography added to the latitude of inclination 50 to 60 degrees north, makes the British Isles, along with their territories such as Iceland and Scandinavia, the cradle of hundreds of rainbows. Everywhere these magical arches have become the mystical door to other levels, and even though with their correct angle they can be seen in all parts of the planet, here they have managed to become a cultural symbol. I am. The colors that are born from the sunlight, the chakras that are born from the plexus of the being. Just as the sun radiates its lights through the water, revealing the 7 primary colors of the rainbow, the light of the being radiates over the blood, letting us see the 7 chakras. The I am in the solar term is refracted in the life of in the 7 and even the 12 colors to the outside, the 12 different frequencies that are born to you and that paint the faces of the people or circumstances. Unlike the terrestrial landscape, the human landscape is circumstantial, and you will see colors in the actions and reactions you face in life. Each person or situation will reflect one of the colors that vibrate in you, and what you see in them will only be a fractal of yourself, projected by the light of your being. Me. Nice way of looking at it. I don't know why those cartoons come to mind. What were they, Care Bears or Love Bears? I used to watch them when I was a child. They were about magical bears that had a symbol on their bellies, and that when they had a problem to solve, it would radiate a rainbow of color from his plexus. I am. Humans are the same way. Everything is projected from their plexus. Everything they see outside as a reaction is a consequence, an effect of the inner pulse. Me. The law of cause and effect. Every effect has a cause, and every cause has an effect. I am. The rainbow that you describe is the effect of a cause that is the light of the sun projected on the crystals of rainwater. The main cause is a solar combustion that emanates high radiation energy, which, when vibrating at high frequencies, is perceived as light. That is to say, it is the vibratory capacity of the sun that makes it possible to see the luminosity that will be projected in the colors of the rainbow. The second cause is the fractality of the water and its ability to distort the frequency waves of light, of photons. It is a filter which allows you to see the light in its parts. Me. And those parts are the effect, the visual effect. I am. The effect comes from ex and factere, from the Latin to do outwards. That is, what results externally from what is done. Cause means reason, that is, the why of something, which in turn comes from the word rior, believe or think, and tio, which is action. That is ratio, the action of believing something. If we take the first and only universal law of mentalism, we will understand what the cause refers to. Me, a thought, an idea. I am. The idea that leads to action, to manifest, that is, to effect. Creation itself is a thought that becomes reality. It is the great cause of the great effect. The principle reminds us that everything that arises abroad comes from a preconception, from an idea, from a thought, from our own I am, from the being, which projects outward a color, a frequency, a tune, which will be seen as a direct result of the initial intention. For this reason, everything that you see outside and what happens to you in life, the result that you get from the things that you do not speak of the external, but of the intention from which you manifest things. Me. In other words, all of the things that happen to us, the people that we reflect on, that surround us, all of this is nothing more than a projection in different colors of an internal light that radiates through our blood. I am. DNA is the filter, and for this reason you don't always reflect what you think, but rather what your entire genetic clan thinks. Me. How do I regulate this? I am. You describe it. Regulate the rain. The rain is an emotional plane, and remember what you have said. Clouds travel by air waves. In other words, for clouds to move, you need to move. In order for there to be less pressure, you need to raise the vibration. Otherwise, there will be a low pressure, and you will feel that weight in the humidity and headaches and bones. The water that falls from the skies is equivalent to the emotional torrent of your being. How do you manage the waters of your soul? How do you manage emotional ties? Do you live in a flood, in a rain, in a drizzle? It will be difficult to see a rainbow in the middle of a hurricane. It is difficult to see it in a cloudy environment with incessant drizzle and melancholy and sad and depressive and uncomfortable. However, you will not be able to see it on a sunny day because you need the rain or the drizzle against the light. Me. I need emotion and awareness together to be able to see all of the aspects of my being and where I reflect them from. I am. You can't deny one or the other. Therefore, the only way to regulate it is to become aware of your emotional field. Not repress it or eliminate it or erase the records, but to recognize the logic of the rain, to bring light to the effects, looking for the causes. Me. Look for the causes of the effects of my life is what brings the light to the facts that I can live them coherently and learn and transcend. I am, and also generate new ones. You are the being, the sun, the mind, the consciousness, the cause. Everything that exists in the world is the consequence, the existence, the rainbow, the action, the effect. Contemplate the landscape in which you live, the people that you recognize, what they reflect on you. Those loved ones and those not so loved are colors of your rainbow, the manifested diversity of the potentials of your being. Me. And I'm one of them too. I am. We are all reflections, which is why we affect each other. We are all effects of the causes, and since each being is the sun in itself, an ocean of stars shining on the earth, radiating 12 colors around it, sometimes they reflect people, sometimes animals, sometimes situations, but they will always be there contemplating the vision of who I am. Pay attention to the effects of your life. Recognize the causes, the reasons, the origins that lie in your idea, thoughts, and preconceptions of what you see, and there transform your idea. Build a new concept, transcend the previous ones, and you will be able to live a new result, a new effect. Me. I am the effect of your cause. I am the cause of your effect. Me. And by becoming aware of this, I can become the cause of my own effects. I am. The mind is the reason that responds to itself through the waves of vibration that flow in a rhythm of eternal consequence. Return to the origin of your thoughts and ideas of the world, finding a new answer, retuning yourself in a new rhythm, and you will transform the consequences of it. Me. I am the action. I am the rainbow. I am, and I am the light of the sun.